another woman that could take your spotlight.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kennedy, and for today's video we created this winter glam. The last video that I posted was like more of a fall glam, so this is just a winter glam. I decided to do something with a little bit more shimmer for the holidays. So if you want to see how I got this look, then go ahead and just continue to watch. Before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and also make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. But let's just go ahead and jump right in. So diving right in, the first thing that you just want to do is set your brows with the powder, and I'm going to be leaving notes at the top of the screen just in case y'all want to follow along. So I'm just going in with my translucent powder, and let me move my mirror. This step really does make all the difference, and it really does help my brows last long throughout the day, and it also just helps me reduce any excess shine on the forehead, and my brows just always look and last way longer when I start by setting them with the powder. So now I'm just going to be filling in my brows. I'm actually out of the brow pencil that I usually use, so I'm just using this one here, and I'm just creating like the tiny little fake hair strokes in the front, and I'm just going to start to connect it towards the back here. And this brow pencil is actually really cheap, but it's fine. This is literally all I had on hand because my Morphe eyebrow pencil that I usually use actually ran out. So I'm just going in and filling these in as normal, and I'm just kind of connecting it all at an angle here. Okay, so this pencil is not really giving. It's because it's cheap and I ran out of my other one, so I just wanted this like a little bit more precise in the front. So I'm actually just gonna go in with my liquid brow pencil just to create those like hair-like strokes here. And I'm just going up, and I'm just creating more of like a visible line towards the front of my brow here, and you'll be able to notice what I mean once I get done like filling them in here. And I'm just going in and kind of like pressing this in with my fingers towards the front just to blend that out. The pen that I used to fill in my brow hairs was just the Juvia's Place Shape and Sculpt pencil, and this is in the color dark brown. So I just went in with that foundation, and now I'm just blending it all around my brows, and I even kind of like take it down alongside of my arch here, and it just kind of helps me to shape my brow a little bit better. Oh, this is so fire. It's literally like 9 at night and I'm drinking iced coffee from Dunkin', but they have their holiday flavors, and I always just get the a medium peppermint mocha with almond milk. And even though I get almond milk, I like the taste of dairy, but I try not to do like a lot of dairy, so I usually do like almond milk and add like 3 cream to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up underneath my brows, just underneath my arch, and I'm just gonna speed through these clips. And then whatever is kind of left on the brush, I just like to wipe off, and then I just lightly feather in. So I'm just now taking my beauty blender, and I'm just going in with that same foundation, and I am just prepping my lid with my foundation, and I'm just basically blending it in with the concealer that I added to clean up underneath my brows. So now I'm just taking a little bit more of that powder, and I'm just setting this whole area wherever I added the foundation, and I'm just making this area nice and smooth, and this is just really going to prep us for our eyeshadow. So I know this is literally the foundation that I've been using for like the past 3 tutorials that I've uploaded, but it's genuinely because this is all I use, and that just speaks volume to how good it is. Also just gonna be mixing it with a little bit of my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So I'm just applying this in with the beauty blender, and these two foundations mixed together is just so freaking beautiful. It just makes my skin look really soft, and I also really like the coverage that these two give me when I mix them together. It's not like too full coverage to where it looks really thick and heavy. The NARS has really good coverage, and then adding the Giorgio Armani foundation with it just gives the skin like a little bit of a glow, so it looks really radiant and natural, and that's really important, especially for the winter because your skin is already dry. So adding in like any type of like luminous formula will just make the skin look way more healthy. So if you're looking for a foundation that actually shows up and actually has coverage, I would obviously recommend the NARS one, just because the Giorgio Armani one is nice, but I did get like not tricked but like pressured into buying it because all my favorite influencers were using it, and a lot of people just spoke really highly of it, and I really like the foundation. Obviously I like it because I didn't return it, and I could have returned it, but I feel like more than anything the foundation just makes me feel more luxe. It just gives me like the rich black girl vibes, like that whole aesthetic, and I really like it. I'm not gonna lie, I do really like it, but it's just more on the sheer side. So if you're looking for a foundation that's actually gonna show up, I would probably recommend getting the NARS one. But I like them both. Like I said, this one was just pricey. This is probably like my most expensive foundation. I think the price point of this one was like 70 or 65, and then the NARS one I think only goes for like 40. So this is a standard price for foundation. So that's why I said I feel like, especially for the average person who doesn't do like a full face every day, I would probably just go with the NARS one. Now we can go ahead and move on to concealer. So actually, before I do my concealer, I'm just gonna go in and bronze the forehead. That's a new step that I've been doing before I do anything else. So I'm just taking this bronzer and sweeping it along the perimeter of my forehead, just to basically finish off my complexion and just give myself that warmth, like I said, because naturally my forehead is darker. So once we have the forehead nice and bronzed, we can finally move on to concealer. So I'm just starting off with this Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just going to apply this underneath my eyes. And I'm not doing it in any particular like design or motion or anything. I'm just applying it so that it gets rid of any darkness and just evens me out. So the whole concept of this concealer is going to be to get rid of any darkness, and I'm just blending that out right away. Ooh, I love this concealer so much. Naturally, this one is just really melting into the skin and just basically getting rid of any darkness. And now I'm going to go in with another concealer. This is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So this concealer basically just got rid of darkness, and now this concealer is going to add brightness. So this concealer is definitely more on that yellowy, like golden side, and I love the way that this tone looks underneath my eyes. And with this concealer, I'm just pressing really gently, and I'm also closing my eyes, and I'm just kind of like keeping it on top of the skin but still lightly pressing it in. And this is just really going to give me that like golden under eye look that I'm going for. So I'm going to blend this side out now. And same thing, I'm not pressing too hard with this one because I want to keep the color very visible. If you feel like this is too light or you don't like this step, then I would just stick with the first natural concealer. You want this to be a little bit closer to your skin tone. You don't have to go in with a super bright concealer if you don't want to. It just depends on what you like. But me personally, I love a super like golden under eye. So now, once you have that blended out, you can go in with our translucent powder. So I'm just going to be going in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and this one actually is not even translucent. This one is in the shade Honey, which is the one that has like a little bit more of that banana shade to it. And I'm really baking this in, and I'm really pressing underneath the eyes. And I also like to take it like in this area. I just started doing this just because this gives my makeup more of like a soft look too. And I'm taking this underneath my eyes on this side, and I'm just going all the way up, and I'm just really baking this into the skin. So now I'm just going in with my brush, and I'm just basically pressing the powder underneath my eyes and kind of sweeping it away. And this is just really going to give you that soft look. So now going back in with this Fenty bronzer, I'm just taking this on my cheekbones. And it's just really going to give us a little bit more of a bronzy feel. And now I'm just going in with my beauty blender, and I'm just kind of pressing this in, and this just always makes everything look a little bit more natural and blended. So now that we've added a little bit of warmth back in with our bronzer, now it's time to go in with our blush. And for blush, I'm going to be using this Juvia's Place blush palette, and I just like to use this bottom shade here. Sometimes I'll mix it with the top shade, but this bottom shade is really my favorite. So I'm just going in, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of blush kind of towards the back of my cheeks, and I'm just going to blend it forward. And this is literally like the perfect color for every single day. It's not too red, it's not too pink, it's not too dark. I love this color. And again, this is the Juvia's Place blush palette, and I think that this is just the darker of the two. There's only two. So now I just like to go in and clean up and basically chisel out underneath my cheekbones. And I'm just going to be going in with my MAC Studio Fix powder. You can use any powder foundation, but this is just going to make the cheekbones sit a little bit higher just by adding like a brighter shade underneath here. Is just really going to allow for the cheekbones to look a little bit higher. And this is a really good technique to do, especially if you place your blush too low by mistake. This will really help to give the illusion of like a higher cheekbone. Now we can move on to eyes, and usually I'll do one eye off camera, but I actually don't even know the look that I'm going for today, so I'm just going to kind of wing it and kind of go with the flow. So I know I want to do something with a little bit of shimmer. I think the last few looks that I've been creating have been like matte because I've been on this matte kick, but I really think I want to play around with this Ariana Grande collection. So this is the REM Beauty palette. I just have the palette, and I also just have her highlighter, but this highlight was just a little too like light for me. And it's not ugly or anything, but this just has more of like a champagne undertone, and I just prefer for my highlighters to have that like more of a golden undertone. So we're not going to be playing around with that, but we are going to be playing around with this palette. So let me zoom in on the palette so you guys can really see what it looks like. So it just says REM Beauty by Ariana Grande on it, and this is what the color looks like. I feel like the color story is pretty basic. I feel like these are all really good tones, especially for somebody's first launch. I mean, there's matte shades in here, there's 2 lid shades, and then there's like a darker shade and a transition shade. So I feel like this should be pretty good. So I'm just going to be starting off with this shade here. This is just a basic transition shade. I feel like all palettes have this shade in it. And I'm just going to start by tapping. Okay. Just kind of like seeing how this works. Just trying to make sure that this is going to show up on me. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit of color payoff from this color. And I'm just taking this in the crease of my eye. And I'm going in circular motions as always. And I'm just going to start to blend this outward. I don't know why I'm holding this. I'm not even looking in this mirror. I'm literally looking in this mirror. But okay, I'm not mad so far. I do feel like my first impression, because this is like my first time really playing around with this palette, the color, well, this color isn't super pigmented. It was kind of hard to build, but once you build it, I feel like it looks good. Now I'm just taking this darker brown. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this on my outer corner. I'm using like the same basic techniques that I usually use for the majority of my eyeshadow looks. I usually always go in with the transition shade, and then after that I like to go in with a darker shade on the outer corner, and I'm going to blend this inward. Okay. That one definitely showed up way better, and I do like the way that that looks mixed in with the transition shade. So I'm just taking that all the way in, or not all the way in, I'm kind of stopping it kind of like halfway in between the eye here. Okay, so once you have the transition shades down, now it's time to go in with the lid shade, and I think I'm going to go in with this shade here. It's like a champagne shade. It has like rose gold vibes to it. I think that that'll look really nice with the shirt because it's like a satin, like pastel vibe. So I'm just taking this on a flat brush, and I'm just going to apply this towards the front of my eye here. Okay, that looks kind of cute. And when I get to the center, I'm just going to smear it out. And I'm going to go back in with this first original transition color and combine this color in with the lid shade. Okay, so I'm blending that out, and I just want this to pop a little bit more. So I'm actually going to be taking this shade from the palette. It's a matte. I want to just apply this on a small dense brush and apply this on my inner corner here. And I'm just tapping this here and kind of like going all the way up with it. Okay, I feel like that just definitely opened the eye way brighter, and I really actually like the way that that looks. So I'm just going in and just making sure that everything is blended. Let me just adjust this clip. Okay, so now I just want to go in with an eyeliner, but I don't want to use a black liner. I want to keep this look nice and soft, so I just want to go in with a brown liner, and I'm actually going to be using the same liner that I used to do my brows with. This is actually an eyebrow pencil, but I'm going to be using it as my eyeliner for this look. So I'm just going to look straight and look down, and as always, I'm going to utilize the side of the pen. So I'm just starting by creating a really fine line in the center of the eye, and I'm just going to be dragging it all the way up and all the way out here. And I do want this eyeliner look to look a little bit more dramatic than my usual wings, just because since the wing is going to be brown, I really want it to like really be more visible. I feel like I'm talking so slow, but it's only because I'm trying to concentrate. So actually, let me go ahead and kind of do this off camera, and then I'll come back on once I have it nice and perfected. Okay, so y'all saw me with do this wing. I just kind of like flicked it all the way out. So all I did was fill it all the way in. And for my inner corner, I just went in with this eyeliner pen, and I literally just used like the very tip of the pen, and I created a straight flick right in the inner corner here. So after that, I just went in with a little bit of concealer, and I cleaned right up underneath the bottom of where I flicked it out, and then I actually went up top here and I just go in with my concealer and I clean up on the top of it here all the way out. Okay, so we are just going in with a little bit of mascara on the top and the bottom, and now we are just going to add our lashes. Okay, so lashes are on, and now it's time to just finish this off with the lip. And I'm just going to be starting with my lip liner. I'm just using the dark brown lip liner. As always, I usually would use like Chestnut by MAC, but I'm out of that. I'm out of so much makeup products. I actually need to go shopping. So lastly, I'm just going to be going in with my lip gloss, and this is the Fenty Lip Cream in the shade Honey Waffles. So here we are with the completed look. I hope you like the way this look came out. I love the way this look came out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other videos that I post. And also comment down below and let me know what you want to see from me on my channel. And give this video a like. But that's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.